You're using AI wrong. You're writing better prompts, crafting longer instructions, and adding more detail, and still getting garbage output. Here's what I've learned after using AI in finance work every single day. Founders winning in AI are not the ones who write good prompts. Instead, they are the ones who build good systems. Prompts are one-time instructions. Context is everything AI knows about your business before you even ask a question. That is the difference between saying, help me build a budget versus saying, here's my business model, my metrics, my burn rate, my hiring plan, my revenue drivers, and my board expectations. Now help me build a budget. In this video, I'll show you how to build a finance context system, why you should train your AI like you train a new hire, and the specific mistake that makes 90% of AI outputs useless. Hi, I'm Kishore Dasaka. I run a fractional CFO firm for startups. I use AI tools every single day in my finance work. And here's what actually works. Most founders use AI like this. They go to ChatGPT and say, help me build a 12-month budget. And they get a generic template. Revenue goes up, expenses are guesses, nothing specific to their business. So they try to fix it with a better prompt. They say things like, help me build a 12-month budget for a B2B SaaS company with 500K ARR and a 15% monthly growth rate. Well, that is better, but still generic. Still missing everything that makes your business your business. And here's what actually works. Before you ask AI anything, you need to give it context. Your business model, your current structure, your team metrics, your revenue drivers, your cost drivers, and most importantly, your board's expectations. And also your goals for the next 12 months. Not in every prompt, in a document that loads every time. I usually keep 3 markdowns in a folder. The first one has the entire business context. The second one has financial standards that I expect from the AI. And the third one for communication preferences. When I open a new session, that context loads automatically. I don't re-explain my entire business every time. AI already knows it. That is the difference between a generic template and an output that actually fits your company. Here's where most founders fail. They give AI a task. AI gives them an output. The output isn't great and they conclude that AI is not doing the work. That's like hiring someone and giving them one task and not liking the result and firing them on day one. Not everyone does that with human beings, but everyone, unfortunately, does that with AI. AI learns exactly like a new employee, through feedback, through iteration, and through incremental building. The first output is usually the worst output that will ever be. And here's how I train AI for finance work. Step number 1, you need to define what good really looks like. Before I ask anything, I show AI examples of a good output. Here are 3 variance reports that I've written personally. This is the format that I use. This is the level of detail that I expect. And this is how I want insights to be presented. Most people skip this part. They expect AI to guess their standards. And then they're disappointed when it doesn't. Step number 2 is giving it strict rules, not vague guidance, specific non-negotiable rules. Always use monthly granularity, not quarterly. Always use a cash impact column. Never use more than 2 decimal places. Always flag variances above 10%. I give AI 10 to 15 rules like this for any recurring task, and the output quality jumps immediately. Step number 3 is to iterate and correct. When AI gets something wrong, I don't fix it myself. I tell AI what was genuinely wrong and why. This is incorrect because the revenue recognition timing is off. We recognize revenue proportionally over the contract term and not upfront. And then you adjust the model and remember this for future outputs. That is correction. And that correction becomes part of the training. Next time it gets it right. One client that I know spent 6 months trying to get consistent financial reports from AI. Always disappointed. I spent 4 hours building context document with 12 rules and 6 example reports. The output quality went up almost by 5 times. Not because AI got smarter, but because we trained it properly. Here's the mistake that I see with finance automation. Founders think, can AI replace my finance person? Now that is a wrong question. The right question is, what are the 10 discrete tasks that my finance person does today which AI can handle? Don't automate jobs. Don't automate positions. Automate workflows. Let me show you what I mean. A typical early stage finance function involves the following: categorizing transactions, reconciling bank reports, generating monthly reports, building variance analysis, updating the cash forecast, preparing board materials, and answering founder questions about metrics, modeling scenario hires, tracking runway, and managing AR and AP. That's about 10 tasks, not one job. Some of these AI handles very well today. Categorizing transactions, AI can do an 80% accurate task of doing this automatically, but with the right context. Generating monthly reports, if you've trained it on your format, AI produces a solid first cut draft. Variance analysis, AI can flag anomalies faster than any human can. But still, tasks need human intervention. Strategic intervention, judgment calls on edge cases, investor communication, anything requiring a relationship context. The point is to not replace the whole function. The point is to identify which specific tasks can move to an AI-powered workflow. One accountant that I work with used to spend 25 hours on transaction categorization. We trained AI on AI workflows using his specific chart of accounts. Now today, that same task takes 45 minutes. The founder didn't replace his accountant. He freed them up to do better and more important work. That is the shift from can AI do this job to which pieces of this work can AI accelerate. Next, this is the mistake that kills most AI outputs. Founders give instructions like make the budget more realistic, improve the cash flow forecast, make the board deck more compelling. Now these are abstract instructions. AI has no idea as to what you actually mean. More realistic according to what? Improve in what direction? And compelling by what standard? AI unfortunately doesn't understand these vibes. It understands concrete and observable criteria. Here's how I will fix this. Instead of saying make it more realistic, give a prompt like adjust the revenue assumptions from 15% growth to 10% growth monthly. Add a 2-month lag between customer acquisition and first billing. Include a 5% monthly churn rate on the customer base. Now that is specific. That is actionable and AI can execute that. Instead of saying improve my forecast, add a 13-week cash flow view. Break down the burn by department. Include a sensitivity analysis showing the runway at 80%, 100% of the projected burn. Now that is concrete, observable and executable. So the rule is if a new employee couldn't execute your instruction without asking for follow-up questions, AI can't do that either. So therefore, make it cleaner becomes remove decimals, standardize date formats and consolidate categories. The more concrete your instruction, the more better your output. Here's what stops most founders. They think AI in finance is complicated. They think they need to be technical. They think it will take months to figure out. It takes about 20 hours. Open a session, paste in your financial data, ask a question, see what happens, correct the output and try again. One weekend focused experimentation will teach you more than 6 months of reading articles online. The barrier isn't technical. The barrier is starting and iterating as you go. And that is a compounding effect. Every correction you make improves future outputs. Every context document that you build saves times on a future session. And every rule you define will become permanent training for the AI. So week number 1, you're fixing everything. Week number 4, you're editing. And by week 8, you'll start reviewing. The system gets better every time you use it, but only if you actually start. So here's what I'd build if I was starting from scratch. Step number 1 is your context folder. 3 documents. Document number 1 is your business context, what you do, your business model, your stage, your metric, your team, your board, and your current challenges. Document number 2 is your financial standards. How you categorize expenses. What are your major heads? your chart of accounts, your reporting formats, your variance thresholds, and example reports that represent good variance analysis. Document number 3 is communication preferences. How you want insights to be prepared. What level of details do you expect? What you don't want, like tables, bullets, and whatever. This usually takes a solid 2 to 3 hours to build, but it can save you hundreds of hours over a period of time. Step number 2, list your finance tasks. Every recurring task in your accounting and finance function. Daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly, and annual. Be specific. Don't say financial reporting. Generate monthly P&L with department level breakdown and variance analysis against budget. That is specific. Step number 3 is pick one task. Build a workflow around it. Train AI with rules and examples and iterate it till it becomes good. Then and only then you move to the next task. Don't try to automate everything at once. It is a recipe for disaster. The founders winning at AI, they're building context. They're training an AI model like they're training an employee. They're automating tasks, not jobs. They're removing abstract language and they're doing the actual work. 20 hours of hands-on practice will change how you run your finance function. Not reading about AI, not watching videos about AI, but actually using it. And context beats prompting. Training beats hoping, and starting actually beats waiting.